Bold predictions on this show are exclusively from you this time of year, and it's what you believe in so much that you would honestly bet some of your own money on this. Let's dive in tonight. We do have a lot of boldness here. First up, Florida State. This is R. Wilmer from Clinton Forge, Virginia, by the way. He says FSU goes 10-2. They make the ACC championship game. Okay, that alone is bold. But he continues. They also make the Final Four of the college football playoff. This one is a 9.75 on the boldness scale. If this hits, this will win a Chalice of Supremacy. First one we will have ever sent to Clinton Forge, Virginia. FSU went minus 11 wins from 23 to 24. They won 11 fewer games one year to the next. That's the second biggest drop-off of all time, aside from the Southern Miss disaster of a decade prior. They've got new coordinators down there. They've got massive roster churn. They're starting a quarterback that got benched by Boston College last year. They do, however, play 6 of the bottom 8 teams in the ACC odds board at FanDuel. So that's looking up for them. They're not going to turn it around that drastically. Florida State's not going to the Final Four this year. So that's a 9.75. I'm sorry. That's a 9.75. Although I do expect improvement. Next up, this is ridiculous. Jackson from Jackson, Tennessee, said the SEC will go undefeated in out-of-conference play in the regular season. Okay, that's a 10. LSU plays out of conference in week 1, and they can't win in week 1. We all know that. That's an established fact about the program. So this can't happen. That's kind of a joke, but they have struggled. And they do play Clemson on the road in week 1. So we've got Texas at Ohio State in week 1. We got Auburn at Baylor. We got LSU at Clemson. And if you overcome that, you still have, I mean, do you know Arizona State goes to Mississippi State this year? Do you know that? Do you know Tennessee plays Syracuse in Atlanta in week 1? Do you know Notre Dame goes to Arkansas? If the SEC drops any of these games, this is toast. So that's a 10. I need not say much more about that. Next up, this is harsh. Oh, Nick from Westminster, Colorado said Wisconsin goes 3-9. Well, their over-under win total's 5.5. I made this a 7. There's a lot of discrepancy in the office about how bold this was. They were 7-6 in year 1 under Fickell. They were 5-7 last year. They could be disastrous this year. I would expect them to win 6 or so. That's where I'd have them right now. The Tyler Van Dyke injury sort of derailed them last year, but this is a program that's just having to hit reset, man, for hiring-related reasons when Fickell first got there. They brought in Billy Edwards from Maryland. Let me cut in really quick and ask, look, prayer hands, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you think you're subscribed, check and make sure. Over 50% of you aren't. It's free, it doesn't sign you up for anything, and it helps us keep the show free, college football year-round, the way God intended it. All right, back to the clip. So he's the quarterback this year, high hopes and whatnot. 20%. I want you to think about this number. So the way we define strength of schedule around here is we do it this time of year, and then we look comparatively. So Wisconsin, we've got playing a pretty tough schedule. We've got them as playing a 20% tougher schedule than the average Big Ten team plays this year. So it's not an easy draw. They play at Alabama on top of their conference schedule, by the way. I've got this as a 7. Maybe that's unfair. Maybe it should be a 7.5. But yeah, 3-9 would be a disaster. It's not like overly bold, though. Their over-under win total is 5.5. And lastly, this is bold, too. This gets a 9.5. Leo from Princeton, New Jersey, he said Oklahoma State wins the Big 12. I just don't think so. I don't see it. It is the Big 12. Remember, there are no 10 boldness predictions in the Big 12 because anything's possible. So the boldest you can get is like 9.5. They got the second worst odds to win the conference. We've seen teams like that win it before, Arizona State, Baylor. Their last losing record was 0-5, and they bottomed out last year. They're 104th in returning production, but then again, if you're that bad, do you want those players back? They're 133rd last year in yards per game allowed defensively. They were 115th in turnover margin. if it improves a lot, they're still not going to win the conference. They go to Oregon in week 2, out of conference, by the way, so you'll see them pretty early. That's a 9.5 on the boldness scale. It would be a big story, though.